Economics, chapter 34, the multiplier. When we talk about multiplier simply means a new income that has an increase in income that brings about an extra income. So the new income has brought about you having additional. So that is multiplier. So here I wrote, multiplier is a factor that increases output of something. The multiplier effect can be illustrated through the circular flow of income. We know what the circular flow of income is, right? We have the opener and the closed economy, okay? So multiplier can therefore be expressed as the amount of new income that is generated from an extra income spent. So as soon as you spend an extra income, as soon as your income increases and brings about a new income, then there's multiplier. I think multiplier is clear there. So multiplier model states that the higher the leakages from the circular flow, the smaller the value of multiplier. So there's injection and there's leakages or withdrawal. So if leakages increases, it means income is not injected. So if leakages increases, the multiplier effect will be less. And if injection increases, the multiplier effect will be high. Get the point here? The higher the leakages, the lower the multiplier effect. The lower the leakages, the higher the multiplier effect. That is what multiplier model is stating. I think it's clear. So multiplier effect works also on government spending, investment, or export. A fall in a fall in spending, government spending, a fall in export, a fall in investment will bring about a lower multiplier effect. I think the point is clear about multiplier. Yeah. So that takes us to calculating the multiplier. Are you there, please? Yeah, okay. Calculating the multiplier. So the value of the multiplier can be calculated by using the formula involving a number of variables such as consumption, saving, taxation, imports, or total withdrawals. So we're going to start with consumption, which is the marginal propensities. So when we talk about marginal propensity to consume, it is the increase in consumption that is divided by the increase in income. So as soon as your consumption increases, you divide it with an increase in the income. That is marginal propensity to consume. Remember, we have average propensity to consume, which is consumption divided by income. That's APC. APC is C divided by Y. But when it comes to marginal propensity to consume, it is change in consumption over change in income. I think the point is clear. So take that, please. Then the second one, marginal propensity to save, MPS. For marginal propensity to save, it is change in savings over change in income. So a change in your savings that bring about a change in income is marginal propensity to save. Clear? Yes. The third one, marginal propensity to tax. So that is an increase in tax revenue divided by an increase in income. So a change in tax revenue that brings about a change in income is marginal propensity to tax. Clear? Yes. So MPC is change in T over change in Y. Then we have the marginal propensity to imports, MPM. And MPM is an increase in import divided by an increase in income. So a change in imports that brings about a change in income is MPM. Clear? Any question about that? So that takes us to activity 1. Are you there? Yes. So for activity 1, they said the following examples would relate to an economy in the Eurozone. Calculate the value of MPC if consumption increases by 100 million and income increases by 200 million. So we say MPC is change in consumption over change in income. 100 over 200 is 0.5. MPS is change in savings over change in income. But now, you see they wrote 200 over 2 billion. If you have to do 200 over 2 billion this way, you're not going to get the right figure. So what you do is 200 divided by 2,000 million.
1,000 million
is
1 billion.
Yes. You get it? So this is how you calculate in economics. When you have billion, you don't calculate billion, you calculate in millions. 1,000 million. Is it clear? Yes. So it's 200 over this, it gives us 0.1 and the rest. I think they are clear, right? So that takes us to the multiplier effect and injections. Are you there? Yes. Okay. So for injection, when we talk about injection, we're simply talking about investment, right? So I wrote, investment is an injection into the circular flow. The multiplier effect shows the impact on aggregate demand and income of a change in injection. So an increase in injection, are you with me? An increase in injection will increase the multiplier effect. A fall in injection will bring about a fall in the multiplier effect. Is injection and multiplier effect clear? Great. The multiplier effect and withdrawals. Changes in the marginal propensity to consume, save, tax, and import will change to the value of the multiplier. An increase in MPC, which must occur because the MPW falls, will lead to a rise in the value of the multiplier. So what we're saying is this: withdrawal. So an increase in withdrawals. So withdrawals are imports, saving, and tax. So an increase in all these three, which I summarize as marginal propensity to the withdrawals. It combines MPT, MPS, MPT, MPS, and MPM. Yeah. So MPT plus MPS plus MPM is MPW.
Oh, okay, withdraw there.
Do you get it? Mm-hmm. So an increase in MPW will bring about a fall in the multiplier effect. Clear? So for MPW it is 1 minus MPC or 1 over MPW.
Yeah, 1 over.
Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Good. So, however, a fall in MPC, which must be associated with a rise in MPW, will lead to a fall in the value of the multiplier. So, if there's a fall in marginal propensity to consume, if we stop consuming, it simply means that we start saving. Yeah. So, a fall in marginal propensity to consume will mean that there's a rise in the marginal propensity to save. A marginal propensity to save, or marginal propensity to taxes, or marginal propensity to import. So, an increase in this will bring about a fall in MPC. So a fall in MPC will bring about a fall in the multiplier effect. Clear? The multiplier effect and aggregate demand curve. Aggregate demand curve is the total of aggregate demand. It's total of demand within the economy. So here I wrote an increase in investment, export, and government spending. So an increase in investment, government spending, and consumption, right? And an increase in export will bring about an increase in injection. And as soon as there's an increase in injection, there will be an increase in the multiplier effect. So an increase in an increase in government spending, export, and investment will increase the national income. And if the national income of an economy increases, the multiplier effect will increase. You get it? That will shift the aggregate demand curve rightward from AD1 to AD2. But in between them, there will be aggregate demand for export. Get the point here? So, if based on the graph, look at the graph, please. Let me explain the graph to you. An increase in exports will increase aggregate demand. So that means if aggregate demand is increasing, so it will increase from 0y1 to 0y2. So an increase in exports will bring about an increase from 0y1 to 0y3 because export has increased. So the aggregate demand is there, but what has made aggregate demand to increase is because of an increase in export. So it will be from AD1 to ADX to AD2.
Okay, ADX, AD2.
Please get the point here. As soon as export increases, aggregate demand will shift rightward. Before now it is Y1, Y2, 0Y1, Y2, which gives us AD1. But an increase in exports will shift the aggregate demand for export rightward from AD1 to ADX. And that will bring about an increase in the real output from 0Y1 to Y2, Y3. So it's not going to be, it's going to increase from Y1, Y2 to Y1, Y3.
Okay.
So export increases aggregate demand, and as soon as export increases, aggregate demand will increase, multiplier effect will also rise. Is it clear? Is it clear, please?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Mr. For export shifts rightward because when the import increases...
No, not imports.
Export increases, the aggregate demand increases, which increases the multiplier.
Yes. So, an increase in marginal propensity to consume. So, an increase in government spending, an increase in investment. Both of them would increase export. Because if government continues to spend, output within the economy would increase. If output within the economy increases, it means we have more output. Which means one of the reasons why we have, this is A level, but let me quickly put it into you. One of the reasons why we have balance of, or one of the reasons why we have international trade is because of increase in output. So because government is spending and investment is increasing, output is increasing. So because the output is increasing, you cannot consume all this output. You have to start thinking about selling it abroad. That brings about international trade. So that's why an increase in government spending, an increase in investment will increase export. So that's why an increase in government spending and an increase in government spending and an increase in investment will shift the aggregate demand curve rightward from AD1 to ADX. Because as soon as as soon as the economy's output increases, we'll start thinking about international trade. And international trade involves export and import. But because we are talking about our own economy, we want to sell out. So AD1 to ADX, which will bring about a rightward shift to AD2. Do you get it? Okay. So that's about that. Then we have the effect of the economy on the multiplier. The value of the multiplier is determined by the marginal propensity to consume, marginal propensity to save, marginal propensity to taxes, and marginal propensity to imports. So they can change in value if other variables in the economy changes. So we start. What are those variables that could change? Interest rate. They are economic variable. Inflation is an economic variable. These things, they are variables because they change over time. So if, for example, there's a rise in interest rate. What is interest rate? Interest rate is the price for saving or borrowing, right? So if interest rate changes, it will definitely change the marginal propensities within the economy. So a large rise in interest rate is likely to discourage consumption. As soon as interest rate increases, we start thinking about saving than spending. Yes or no? So that means our marginal propensity to save will increase. And that is about withdrawals or leakages within the economy. Do you get the point I'm making here? So a large rise in interest rate is likely to discourage consumption and encourage saving. So a large rise in interest rates is likely to discourage consumption and encourage saving. Why is it encouraging saving? Because the price of saving has increased. So as soon as we understand that the price of saving has increased, nobody would want to spend. We start thinking about saving. And when we continue to save, our marginal propensity to save continues to rise. And that will bring about leakages or withdrawals within the economy in the circular flow of income. So leading to a fall in the MPC. So marginal propensity to consume would fall if marginal propensity to save is increasing. Do you get it here? There's an inverse relationship between MPC and MPS. So and the rise in the MPS, so this means a fall in the value of multiplier. So because there's leakages are increasing. If leakages are increasing, multiplier effect will fall. Multiplier comes as a result of spending extra to generate a new income. So when we generate a new income, we can only generate a new income if injection is increasing, not leakages. Leakages involve taxes, saving, and imports. Why is it involved? Why is import involved? Import is involved because the money goes out of our economy. Do you see?
The money goes out
of our economy. We import. We get goods in exchange for our own money. So our money goes into the foreign exchange market. One of the problems we have with import is that as soon as import increases, the supply of our currency would increase because we have to take our currency, the dinars, into this foreign exchange market to change it to the currency we want to buy from.
So import it.
If we want to buy from Turkey, we need the lira.
We're gonna exchange.
So we have to take the Libyan dinars to the foreign exchange market to find lira. So that increases the supply of Libyan dinars. And as soon as the supply of Libyan dinars increases, the value of Libyan dinars will drop. So that's why export will increase the value of a country's currency. So if Americans want to buy from us, they have to take their dollars into the foreign exchange market to get dinars.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I get it.
So that's the point about we've not done this. So the first one we talked about is interest rate. Another variable is government taxes. Government changes of taxes paid by households will affect multiplier. A rise in taxes will increase marginal propensity to tax. Hence, the value of multiplier will fall. Marginal propensity to tax is changes in taxation that brings about changes in income. So if taxes are increasing, the marginal propensity to tax will increase. But that goes to government, which is part of what? Withdrawals or leakages, right? So that will bring about a fall in the multiplier. Meanwhile, a fall in taxes will increase injection, reduces withdrawals, and that will bring about a rise in the multiplier effect. Is it clear? Any question about that, please? And the last one, governments and the multiplier. Are you there?
Yes.
Government uses changes in government spending to influence national income and macroeconomic variables, such as unemployment and inflation. An increase in government spending on investment, which could lead to an increase in employment, will bring about an increase in the multiplier. Listen, we said multiplier occurs because we have increased our income. That brings about extra income, right? That is multiplier. So if government is spending, maybe subsidy. If government increases its subsidy for firms within the economy will be able to increase their output. By increasing their output, if they have to increase their output because prices will fall, the cost of production will fall for them, price would fall, demand would increase. And as soon as demand increases, firms would want to ensure that they are able to meet up with the demand within the economy. As a result of that, the demand for workers would increase. So if the demand for workers increases, income level would rise. So if income level rises, income tax would increase. Firms' disposable income would increase. Workers will be able to have more income today. And the multiplier effect will rise. Do you see? So an increase in government spending that brings about an increase in the income level will increase the multiplier effect. A fall in government spending will bring about leakages in the economy and will reduce the multiplier effect. So this is what multiplier is all about. Any question, Nikki? Thank you.